Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. North America, South America, and all the ships at sea. Tonight we bring you a special broadcast by the Minions and Misfits players, starring Dylan,
Woo!
Rebecca,
Well, hi there.
and Sam.
Salutations!
Tonight we bring you a special broadcast of the Saturnine Chalice, a Call of Cthulhu adventure for 3 players.
Why, that's precisely how many we are.
You know, I can't spell any of those words, but they sound nice.
That's right, everybody. For the Halloween special this year, we are playing Call of Cthulhu, 7th edition.
There's too many editions.
Before we jump into a little bit of rules talk, let's meet our investigators, starting with Dylan.
Name's William. My friends call me Billiam. I've been a groundskeeper and gravedigger around Miskatonic University for, say, 40-odd years.
How many universities do you know of that need a gravedigger?
Well, you see, this weird crap happens in this town.
He's groundskeeper part-time at the university, and then he digs graves at the adjacent
For the city.
cemetery.
Yeah, for the city.
It's a hobby.
Groundskeeper Willie, no relation.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah.
All right, how about Rebecca?
I'll be playing Miss Abigail Anderson, formerly of Savannah, Georgia. She is a librarian at the university and doesn't put up with any nonsense from the students.
No nonsense. This is an essential qualification to be a librarian, I feel
For
like.
real.
Nonsense and a love of knowledge. You respect the books, you respect the people, you'll find what you need.
Picturing her as treating the people who check out books like a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
Boot camp
Leans
training.
in close, looks him right in the eye.
Is
you
constantly
listening here?
reluctant to lend out books, just as angry at every person who rents out a book.
Oh, no. Like, you need to get your knowledge. But if you don't bring it back, if you don't take care of it, she will find you, and you will pay.
What is your major malfunction, student? And lastly, Sam.
All right, so I'm playing Clarence Biggles, RAF pilot extraordinaire. And I'm a visiting speaker, of course. Just no biggie, just a bit of an upsy-downs, you know, a bit of a smash-on experience, really. He doesn't know
We
what
don't
he's
know what he's
saying.
saying either.
Right, well, whatever all of that means.
Whatever he is saying.
Rather.
All right, so as I said, we're playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. So for the sake of the listeners, let's run down the rules just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely for the listeners, not for us.
Shifty eyes.
As you may have come to expect when I sit in the DM's chair, we are playing a roll-under system. Simply vastly superior in every way.
As the Lord intended.
But this combines that one true love of mine with another, which is D100s,
And
percentile
Also,
dice.
Eldritch Horror.
Hurrah.
Yes, and my third would be Eldritch Horror.
If it
Three
allows
things.
If it allows you to sleep well at night, Cam hates it. So that's a good thing to that's a good thing to remember for this.
Oh yeah, you got to be like just consumed with doubt at the end of whatever media it is you consume. So D100 roll under. It's that's one of the greatest phrases in role playing history. Our investigators, which is our players, have a few different stats. Relevant ones include strength, con, dex. These are all similar to Dungeons and Dragons. But there's also size, which is simply just how big
your
of a
BMI.
person you are. Yeah, it's essentially your BMI. There's appeal, which is how good looking you are. And then
Quantified.
your D&D's intelligence score is kind of split between education, which is how much you've learned and how much you know, and intelligence, which is how good you are at deductive reasoning, logic, puzzle solving, that sort of thing. And then lastly, to go along with their physical strength as represented by the strength stat, we have power, which is sort of a willpower sort of metaphysical strength, if you will.
Kind of lightning
Strength
that comes
of
out of your
soul.
hands, if you will.
No.
Ultimate power.
Do it.
Wrong special.
Unlimited power.
Mine's
There's hit
65,
points.
It's not unlimited. I don't know about yours.
We all know what hit points are. There's magic points, which are probably going to go unused here today.
Aw.
There's luck, which is exactly what it sounds like. Do you want something convenient to happen to you? Well, roll under luck, and we'll see if it does. And no journey into the cosmic abyss would be complete without sanity points.
Yay.
Anytime one of our intrepid investigators runs into something to do with the mythos or the occult, or even just something normal, mundane, but pretty spooky, like a dead body or a skeleton,
Pretty spooky. Those are the same
they
thing.
roll. Well,
Dead body still has fleshy bits on it.
it's a square and rectangle thing.
At what
Every
point of
skeleton's a
decay?
dead body, but not every dead body is a skeleton.
Mm.
Makes you think. Anytime they see something like that, they will roll on their sanity. If they roll equal or under, they may lose no sanity, or maybe just 1 or 2 points of sanity. If they fail that roll, however, they may lose significantly more than that. And if they lose enough, well, you can probably guess what happens next.
Asylum.
And those aren't very good right now.
Bedlam. Yeah, the 1920s. If you've ever watched Shutter Island, you know what to expect from a 1920s insane asylum. Not great. Not a fun
There's a
time.
Not
reason
very
we got rid of
asylum.
them.
A lot of ice picks going around.
Eee.
Oof. Well, on that cheery note,
There are opposed skill rolls in case any two of you want to,
Kill each
you
other.
know, right? Or
I
just
would
argue
never
about
turn on
something.
the party.
Certainly not if you went insane.
Wink, wink.
I think Sam's
there's
gonna, I think
advantage and
Sam's gonna go insane
disadvantage.
first.
I have a feeling with that power.
There's advantage and disadvantage, which in this game means you roll an extra of the tens place dice. For those of you who are woefully uneducated in percentile dice, and oh, how I pity you. A D100 is simply 2 D10s, one of which represents the tens place and one of which represents the ones place. In Call of Cthulhu, if you get a bonus or penalty, that's advantage or disadvantage, you simply roll 2 tens place dice and keep the lower of the two, which, if in the case of a bonus, or the higher in the case of a penalty. Easy peasy. And I think that's all that we need to go over in terms of the basic mechanics of the game. It's actually relatively simple, despite how complicated the character sheets can look.
Yeah, just so you know, if you haven't played Call of Cthulhu, my skills include things such as, you know, your regular old climb, charm, first aid, psychoanalysis, library use, electrical repair. You know, those are
You
all
joke
just
about
regular
library
skills.
use, but library use might be one of the most important skills in Call of Cthulhu.
That's
Hey,
unfortunate,
good thing
'cause
I'm
I
a
only have
librarian.
20.
We got a
Suffice it to
librarian on the party. We're good. Shift.
Is there a librarian in the house?
suffice it to say that every character hero is referred to as an investigator, and each Call of Cthulhu session revolves around investigators discovering some otherworldly force. However, in Lovecraftian horror, whenever they discover truth about an otherworldly force, it also ruins their minds. And so
Yay.
it'll be pretty interesting to see how this unfolds.
What's your sanity stat, sir?
It's not super high.
It's not great. All right. Without further ado, we begin our Call of
D&D.
Cthulhu
Old
one-shot
habits die hard.
adventure, the Saturnine Chalice, which, let me see if it says who it was written by.
Reads the name, we all lose sanity.
The name is Yuwa.
Co-authored by Alan Bly, Matt Sanderson, Lynn Hardy, and Mike Mason.
Thanks,
in
y'all.
the official Chaosium book, Call of Cthulhu, Dead Light, and Other Dark Turns.
Thank you for making cool stuff.
Please don't kill us.
We heart Chaosium. We begin, as so many horror stories do, with a car breaking down.
Oh, crap.
Tell me, though, what brings this motley trio together such that they would be driving someplace,
I'm assuming there's a dead body.
sharing a vehicle with each other?
Oh, man.
I feel like it would make sense if this were almost like a taxi service around the massive campus. Because as a speaker and then as a librarian, like, we're trying to get to different facilities. And if you're the gravedigger, I hope you have some free time. Like, I hope you have a pretty open schedule, generally speaking.
I'm also a custodian. So
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fair. So maybe you're
gotta get
driving
around
us
campus.
or something.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe this is one of my odd jobs. I'm driving y'all down.
Oh, bad luck, fellow. It sounds like you busted a gasket or maybe you upped your downy, I don't know.
Engine shot.
Ah.
He says that, and just to punctuate the sentence, the hood just pops open and steam blasts out of it.
I'll take a look.
Oh, do you want me to take a look? I'm actually quite skilled myself when it comes to, all twisty and whatnot.
Do you know how to fix engines?
I can certainly try.
That's not
Come
what I
at it,
asked.
old fellow. And he kind of, just shoves his face in the engine to look.
Mr. Biggles, if I may, I do believe the inside of a plane is a bit different from the inside of an automobile.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Can I roll to see?
He looks up to say that, and his face is just steamed red.
You see, that's an engine and that's a pipe. Same thing that happens in a plane. Can I roll to see if I succeed?
Sure. Whatever the closest thing to a
Mechanic repair?
mechanic skill.
Mechanic repair.
Nice.
What's your stat?
Ooh, I've got so I have a 45 and I rolled a 17. So I
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
well,
All right. So,
there's your
really,
problem.
That is a pipe.
Yeah, it is
the
a
first
pipe.
pro-
It was
the first
facing the wrong
problem is-
way.
All pipes are one way. Everyone knows this.
Everyone knows you pipes have to face the right way. Looks like someone sabotaged you.
It turns out that the car is out of gas. As we all know, 1920s cars, when anything goes wrong with them, they just start sputtering and the hood pops open and steam comes out.
Turns into titty titty big bang.
And when I say pipe, I mean gasoline.
Your gasoline pipe's empty. That's your problem.
Ah, yes.
The gas pipe's not working right.
Is that some
got
sort of
nothing
a British slang?
No.
I think it's quite literal.
Well,
Does anyone have any petroleum?
how far to the nearest petrol station? I'm afraid I don't carry it in my bag.
Well, I'm afraid it's a bit of a ropey to the next rigger, but you may be able to... Well, actually, I don't know. How do we get there, old man? He kind of turned towards the gravedigger.
Nearest station's about 15 miles, so we're going to have to figure this out on our own.
Ah.
Well, I
He's-
suppose we could do this
he's
the
not
old-fashioned
wrong.
way and just walk to our destination.
I'll get my tools. And I open the
Because,
trunk, and there's just
this-
rows of shovels and every sorts of nonsense you can
Are
imagine.
they nice and clean, or are they all dirty?
They're
Oh.
very dirty.
I say.
Let
you
it
can
let it
wash
be
your
noted that
tools,
this
old
is all
man.
happening. Let it be noted that this is all happening because Mr. Biggles had the map, and he claimed to know a shortcut to get to wherever it was you guys were heading,
You look
which
at
led you to
Approximately
sushi
3 blocks
menu?
down the way to the next, speaking area on the campus.
Or I imagine, since I'm guessing we're not really in town right now. Maybe we're heading out to a spot where planes were being tested nearby that Mr. Biggles would be interested in, and I, the librarian, knew about the location and found
And
the
I,
map
as a
to it.
custodian, was roped into the manual labor of driving you all.
That's right.
Indeed, you find yourselves on a wooded and pretty much deserted country road in the middle of our New England environs. You pick a state; they're all the same up there.
No, you have
Just
Boston,
kidding.
and then you have several
You got-
different knockoffs of Boston.
You got Massachusetts and everywhere else.
And then eventually there's Maine. Maine's really cool.
Maine is the
I went there
Kentucky of the
once.
North.
Really? That makes
That's
sense,
You got
actually.
Boston. You got Boston. You got Princeton. You got Yale.
You got Boston, you got Equate Boston, which is called Providence, and then you have Equate Providence, which is called Vermont.
Baltimore.
And then you have New York and Equate New York, which is called New Hampshire and Connecticut. Have I made everyone mad now?
I'm not
think
from
so.
the
The
north,
New
so I'm fine.
Hampshire. Looking at the gas gauge, you see that the whole time you were driving, you thought it read full, but a quick tap on the needle and it just flips over to empty.
I kept telling them to fix this thing, and I assumed they would have since they, gave me a pay cut. But I guess that didn't go to fixing the vehicles.
Pay
Told
cut,
him
you
not to
say.
buy an American car.
Can't
It's a
trust
dang-
the Fords.
It's a dang old Ford.
The map shows that the next town in either direction is, like Billiam said, miles away. On foot, you wouldn't reach a town until well after sunset. However, although it's not marked on the map, just ahead you see what looks like a large manor house, surrounded by trees and set back from the road by about, I don't know, a couple thousand feet, half a
This looks
mile.
perfectly not suspicious and perfectly safe.
Well, I say this seems perfectly spot on. I'm sure they'll understand our situation perfectly. And he starts kind of just walking over there, very proudly, almost strutting.
Yes, well, a mansion out in the middle of nowhere. They can be a little bit territorial and a little bit old-fashioned, so she looks down
Each
and
of
she's wearing
you-
a smart pair of culottes, which is a little bit edgy. And she can get away with it at the university.
Yeah. This is Miskatonic University. It doesn't what's the word? Doesn't truck in all of these conservative styles that some of the other Ivy Leaguers deal with.
Is Miskatonic University the one that they have in Mystery Science Theater that launches Mike into space? Or am I thinking
Maybe.
of the wrong one? That sounds like the right one.
It's in
Miskatonic
every
is
Lovecraft thing. Yeah.
it's the university in the non-existent, made-up New England region that H.P. Lovecraft set all of his stories in.
I wouldn't
It's
be
called New
surprised.
Hampshire.
New
It's basically
Hampshire
like
isn't
a
real.
It's basically like a lesser Ivy League school that's known for having lots of people who are super into
The occult.
the occult and ancient archaeology and stuff like that.
Eldritch Law.
Yeah. Eldritch Law.
Eldritch Law. We'll start walking that direction then.
All right. Each of you go ahead and make me an int check, please.
Straight int.
Boy.
I pass.
I pass regular if it's regular.
So if I have 2 zeros on the tens one, that means
It's a 10.
That's a 100. Or no, what's on your ones place? Sorry.
a 4. Does that mean I just have
So you got
4?
a 4.
That's a
That's-
very
Yeah, that
good
just
team.
means a 4.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really good.
Don't even have to look at
Now,
my
if
sheet.
you roll triple zeros, that's a 100, and that's bad.
Roger that.
Which is sad.
The
'cause it
lowest
looks
the
so
lowest
cool.
number you can roll is a 1, so the triple zeros is 100 by default. So you all do notice as you're walking that there are telephone lines running to and from the house. So hopefully they have a telephone that you can use to phone one of Billiam's, I don't know, like custodial underlings to
Oh, I have underlings?
probably. I'm picturing Billiam as being the head custodian.
He's got some college students that needed part-time jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some work studies.
Yeah.
They just work as gravediggers.
Bang on. Well, it may have been ropey for a minute, but perhaps they have a blow in there to get us out of our tuffle, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
Ah, old chap, it's just a bit of upsy downsy round the windy.
I just walk towards the house.
I think he means they might have a telephone.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
Yes.
Way to fly a desk.
What?
That's right.
That's a real RAF slang.
She like pulls out a book of like a pocket book of RAF
Yeah.
slang. that
She
she's
knew
looking
she
through.
would need that.
Yeah. Interpreting the whole way.
All right. So after about 20 or 30 minutes of walking, you make it to the grounds, which are situated in a large circle, sort of a large round driveway around the manor house, which is situated in the center. It is quite large, as these types of houses tend to be. Some other features of the exterior include a garage that is to the back left, and a marble stone mausoleum situated on the back right of the grounds. And then there's a stone walkway leading from the driveway up to the front door of the house.
Abigail
Oh, this ought to be a
sniffs.
milk run.
There's also a well-manicured garden inside the ring of the driveway with topiaries and other such things.
What were you saying, Sam? When we were accidentally interrupting Cam's description of this lovely place. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. He just said that it'll be a milk run, which is another piece of slang. Which just means to me he thinks it's going to be easy. Did I ever give a description
as
of
easy
Biggles?
as buying some milk.
Like a
Biggles-
physical description?
I don't think I ever did. No. Biggles is marching forward. He's wearing these two large leather brown boots and has like a long like leather windbreaker and a brown scarf that's kind of like tossed over his neck, and is wearing the very stereotypical like leather flying hat with two little goggles on it. And he has a thick bushy mustache. And the war's been over for years. Like, he's just still wearing the same outfit.
You never know when another war might break out.
Another world war?
10
Never.
more years.
It's never more than a decade.
They didn't call it World War I for nothing.
Abigail kind of like glares at this building. Though, to be fair, she kind of has a permanent glare stamped into her face. But it becomes
Resting
more
librarian
prominent.
face.
Just librarian things. And she kind of sniffs, like, with distaste. And says,
What is the source of her distaste, I wonder?
rich people.
What's the flap, lady? Oh, that's the wrong accent.
I also switched to the wrong accent. I'm having trouble keeping my southern, and I'm from the south.
I say, what's the flap, lady?
I've had my share of hoity-toity fat cats, and they usually are a bit difficult. And I'm from the south, where they're smooth like butter, sour butter.
Oh, don't prune yourself over some pebble apes.
Oh, snap.
I've got this handled, and I pump on the door.
Okay. Let's see. So you knock on the door. Oh, let's see. Each of you, let's see. Is there, what is it, spot hidden in this
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
game? Yeah, each of you make a spot hidden check for me.
Oh boy.
I rolled a 99, so I failed.
I failed too. I rolled a 91.
Oh no, come on. I rolled I rolled an 87, I also failed. I have a 75. It's not even that hard.
Oh.
I say, why don't we
Dylan,
all
what-
close our eyes for like 5 minutes?
We'll just reset. Come
Sounds
back
like a
around to the
lark.
car.
Dylan, what'd you roll?
99.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see nothing. All right, yeah, you guys don't see anything weird.
No, don't see nothing.
Everything is fine.
Does the door creepily swing open on its own?
No, it doesn't.
No, okay.
Let's see.
We don't see the shotgun kind of making its way out of one of the windows.
Yeah, no.
Don't see
You
the
don't
man
see the pair
rising
of
with a
gloved
knife.
hands just reaching out to strangle you.
We don't see the like the tow truck driving in the background.
Yeah, sorry, it's like already taken the
Yeah.
car. Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, that was a good adventure. Let's walk away.
Back to the car we
Well,
go.
sorry, I'm trying to remind myself what is
You're good.
who is whom.
How big is Billiam?
Oh, I'm like 6'2", like 120 pounds.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
we could
what?
just give some visual descriptions.
Extremely skinny.
Extremely skinny. Like gaunt as a skeleton.
You got a beard?
I got a big, bushy, unkempt gray beard.
Oh,
What's
my.
your size on this?
My size, 65.
Yeah. Mine's 85.
Oh,
So
wow.
so Biggles is probably like
Big
a little
ole?
big and Biggles. He's tall but also probably like built like barrel chested, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like
Kind of let himself go after the war finished.
absolutely. But he holds it well, but not that well.
Well enough.
Yeah.
And it's still
Oh wow,
like,
we'll put
you know,
some meat on you. Yeah.
Better than
good
average.
healthy muscle has a good layer of fat over it.
Yeah.
Right. 1920s fit.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So as you guys approach the door and knock, you hear somebody like sort of jostling around just inside in the entrance hall.
Perfect.
You hear somebody say, "Please do come in. I'm somewhat preoccupied at present."
I just swing the door open.
Yeah, it's not locked. It swings open. You see a rather Butlerian figure standing on a wobbly stepladder, trying to fix a light bulb in the chandelier.
I steady his stepladder.
I come and steady the other side. Do be careful.
I
make-
look around. I almost said I take a gander, but that's our. He kind of walks in, puts his hands on his hips, and goes, "Well, this is quite the place." What does he see?
What indeed? Let's go back to the hall.
What's the perception? in this?
So the front doors are double doors inlaid with some Art Deco stained glass.
Ooh.
Kind of, fancy. Good example of that art from the time. There's a lot of mahogany paneling throughout the hall, and there are also a number of oil paintings of local landscapes in very nice gilded frames. Since you were the one looking around, Sam, make us a spot hidden check.
Oh man, redeem us, Sam.
Oh,
Come
I
on,
didn't.
Biggles.
I got double what I'm supposed to get.
Okay.
I got a 40. So I have a 45,
under,
and
Sam,
I
roll
rolled
under.
a 74, which means I fail badly.
All right. Yeah, so you don't notice anything strange or untoward. Just lots of nice paintings. Like I said, landscapes mostly. And then obviously you see the butler standing on the stepladder. While your colleagues help steady it, he introduces himself as Jeremiah Linwood.
Oh, that's a solid name.
A pleasure to meet you, Mr.
Manservant to the Wayland family.
Are the Whalens in at the moment?
They are indeed. Now hold on tight there. And now Dylan, you and Rebecca make spot hidden checks for me.
I did it! I got a 2!
I got a 79. I'm rolling terribly.
Oh.
Okay, so Abigail notices as she's looking up and speaking to Jeremiah that there are, aside from the light bulb that he's changing in the chandelier, there are a bunch of loose wires hanging out, like out of where it meets to the ceiling.
Is the chandelier like, I'm guessing it's candles?
No, it's electric.
Ooh.
It is electric. Yeah, it's
Wiki,
electrified.
woogie, woogie.
But they haven't fixed up all the wiring. That Mr. Jeremiah, are you aware of all those wires? That does appear to be a safety hazard, especially for one looking to change a light bulb to be near all those wires.
He sort of looks up in the direction that you're gesturing and sort of like looks at it a little bit nonplussed for a second, and he goes, "Oh, these have just always been like that, I believe. There's nothing to worry about."
I'm
about
sure
to
the
get
man
shot.
knows what he's talking about, and he kind of flips on the light switch.
Oh, no.
And as you speak to
gonna kill
Jeremiah,
this man.
And let's see. How old? All right. Another man dressed in a sharp sort of indoor suit. As you know, everybody in the 1920s just wore suits no matter what they were doing.
Oh, it was lovely.
Has a well-trimmed beard with a big solid stripe of gray down the middle of it. Short hair, very much giving master of the house energy. You presume this to be...
I was literally about to start singing it. Yeah.
Suddenly.
Everybody loves a landlord.
But he descends the stairs and says, Jeremiah, you didn't tell me we had guests.
We just stumbled in, sir. I apologize for the intrusion. Our motor vehicle has unfortunately ceased function. Just down the way here, we were hoping we could borrow a telephone of some sort to get some assistance.
A telephone, of course. Well, it is no intrusion at all. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Augustus Wayland. I am the master of the house here. And this is my lovely wife. And coming out of another room is a...
Her name is Jeremiah.
a lovely...
She just leans
woman
over and says,
younger
Master
than-
of the house, is it with my...
younger than Augustus. Blonde, beautiful and graceful. Her hair kind of twisted into sort of a messy bun. She comes out and she introduces herself as Veronica Whalen.
Augustus and Veronica.
Do they
Lovely
have
to
a
meet you
son
both.
named
Oh, wait,
Nayland?
sorry.
Nayland Wayland?
Sorry.
You're
Veronica's
fired.
not the wife. Veronica's the daughter. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Why did you call your wife, your daughter, your
Junior.
wife?
Veronica Jr.
Is there something untoward happening here?
No.
I know it's the 1920s, but it's not the 1820s.
And then attending to Veronica is Jeremiah's wife, Rosemary.
Oh.
Wearing sort of your typical maid uniform. Allowed Jeremiah to finish working with that light bulb, and I'm sure he can show you right to the phone to see if you can call for some help.
That would be excellent. Thank you much.
Rather.
In the meantime, allow me to host you. And he goes on to explain that he and Veronica are hosting a dinner party for some of his friends and invites you to hang around and join while you wait for
I don't
whatever
know
help
if
you may
we're
receive.
dressed for the occasion.
Of course we'll join. And he kind of just walks past Billiam.
He steps in front of him.
That's very generous of you, Mr. Wayland. We do appreciate it.
And
I'm not
as
super
Rosemary,
comfortable in these sort of hoity-toity situations.
Abigail puts her hand on your arm and leans over to speak quietly to you and just says, if Mr. Wayland is inviting us to dinner, he's inviting us to dinner in this state. You just be yourself, darling, and don't you worry about anyone else's opinions.
Okay.
So I guess they all six walk towards the place, and I guess if you're holding his arm and the married couple are holding each other's arms, Biggles kind of extends his arm to the daughter and starts saying, and there I was, over Germany, upping, downing Germans left and right. I was fired at hundreds of times, possibly dozens, and he kind of keeps going on.
Possibly dozens.
possibly dozens.
And they
Let's
follow their host.
see.
Do we see any lovely things on the table?
Do we see any suspicious paintings?
Is there a Cthulhu anywhere?
I rolled to find Cthulhu.
Show me Cthulhu.
He's
Wait,
like-
don't.
You open a door and you just see like a little piece of Cthulhu's head just like mashed up.
It's just
Nope.
a little, like,
Just like,
just a
well-
little chibi Cthulhu.
Oh,
I imagine
No,
he looks,
I'm thinking just like the full-size Cthulhu just crammed into a room to where his eye is just mashed up against the door. He's just like, well,
unlimited
not going to fit in
cosmic
there.
power.
Close the door.
Teeny
Close
tiny
the door.
little space.
Oh my gosh, they saw me.
I I can't believe they saw me. Well, now that you two are less focused on Jeremiah and the stepladder, go ahead and make me one last spot hidden check in the hallway.
Ooh, I would like to keep an eye
there we
out
go,
for further
36.
electrical hazards and poorly placed modernizations.
Okay.
I'm looking for OSHA violations.
I got a 36. We're good. My spot hidden is 55.
Okay.
I got a 66, which I think actually still passes. Please hold. It
Did you
does.
stay at a 75?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you all walked in, you guys sort of took a glimpse at the paintings as well. The kind of the same landscapes that I was describing to Biggles. But as you turn your attention away from Jeremiah and the stepladder to proceed towards the parlor, you notice that on at least one of them, the clouds are not in the same orientation that they were when you first glanced at the painting. Each of you make me a sanity check, please.
Sanity.
Ooh, I just got under it. I have.
got a
Oh wait,
20.
never mind. I
I'm
failed.
good. He said, "Wait, my math is bad."
Well,
I,
Biggles didn't notice the change.
he's
good.
fine.
Fair.
'Cause he
He's-
wasn't paying attention.
I got a 20. We're good.
He's walking by looking at the paintings. If they have a horse in them, he's like, "That's a great piece of art." And if there's no horse, he's like, "Ah."
It's a horse boy!
It's all right. Could use a horse though.
I could use a horse.
All right,
It's like
so
that one line
you
in
guys,
30 Rock. Like people are like, I forget what it built up to, but they asked like, "What is art?" That's so easy. It's paintings of horses. That's art.
It's true.
So did you guys both pass your sanity checks?
No. I got
Okay.
a 90.
Ooh.
That seems very appropriate for your two characters.
I imagine I've seen a
Billiam-
lot.
Billiam manages to sort of convince himself that that the clouds were always in that orientation. Abigail, having spent significantly more time reading the sort of books that tune one's mind to this sort of thing, is unsettled by what she sees in the painting. So you lose one sanity point.
Okay,
I like
just
to
one.
imagine that somewhere out there, all these different victims of cosmic horrors discuss what drove them insane. And one guy's like, "Oh, I saw Cthulhu face to face." Another one's like, "My brother was eaten alive and flayed in front of me." And then there's Rebecca's character who just says, "I saw
I saw a
different clouds." It was the clouds.
The painting, it changed from day to night.
It went from nimbus to not nimbus.
To cumulonimbus.
Non-nimbus. There's two
Do
kinds
you
of
hear
clouds,
me?
nimbus and
Cumulo!
non-nimbus.
I kind of hope
dragged into the padded cell.
I hope this whole like session is just
They were
us
Stratus,
going
I tell you.
insane looking at paintings. Can that please just be the rest of our roles?
Me and every art museum.
They were Stratus.
I tell you.
Stratus. All right, so they direct you to the lounge while Jeremiah finishes up. It is where's the map so I can see? Came in through the entrance hall, and they're taking you to the lounge.
Nothing could go wrong.
Okay.
Nothing could go wrong.
What could possibly go wrong? The lounge is well appointed, as white wood paneled walls that make the room appear very bright. There are 5 large portraits
Large.
around the room.
How large are we talking?
Large.
Like the big over the fireplace kind of
yeah, okay.
portraits that you would see in a Gothic manor.
Like this big.
Please tell me they're horses.
Yeah. The first one is who you assume to be the late wife of Augustus. Her name is Evangeline.
Evangeline.
She's wearing a. Hers is the largest of the portraits. That she's dressed in a flowing white ball gown.
Like a ghost?
Like a ghost.
Ball gown.
To the left of that is a portrait of Augustus and Evangeline together on their wedding day.
Oof. Put that right next to the
And
axe.
then directly across, opposite the portrait of Evangeline, is a portrait of Augustus wearing a well-tailored suit.
This man's kind of strange, isn't he?
These
I
are
mean,
just
he
basically...
loves his wife.
This is the 1920s equivalent of his camera roll, and why are we surprised that there are selfies on there? Come on.
Every rich person.
Selfies were very expensive back then.
I mean, if one of us could commission a self-portrait like in oil paint, who wouldn't do it?
I would not.
What?
It would be pretty dope.
It would be pretty lit.
I would.
Be pretty dope.
I would not.
I mean, a lot of married couples get like big prints of a nice wedding picture
Yeah, those
on
are the
their
worst.
wall. Shifty
See,
eyes.
I have a big print of like Dylan's wedding picture on my wall.
like it's like half the wall. It's really like
Yeah.
It's
Next is the mural.
But it's just Dylan.
Yeah,
Like, it's got
Lindsay's cropped out.
It had Lindsay in it, but it is just cropped out now.
It's like a 5x4 painting. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
yeah. I know it's kind of weird that I never noticed
It's
it.
just like it's a triptych of Dylan and then Lindsay, and then the last panel is like you just way in the background.
I'm sorry. What are the rest of the paintings? There's him in a suit,
There's
him
a
and
horse.
his current wife, his ex-wife, and then
and
what?
him and his horse.
Well,
He doesn't have a
not his
current
current wife. He's only had one wife.
But you said there
She's
was a
dead.
dead wife.
Yeah.
The only wife is dead. That's why you're confused. I see. Yeah, there's his dead wife. There's a picture of her over the fireplace, right?
Uh-huh.
And then on
Yep.
one side, there's him and his now dead wife on their wedding day, and on the other side, there's just him. Correct?
Wait.
Question mark?
Yes.
I thought. Wait, who were the three people who brought us in though? Because there was
The guy,
his
So
daughter.
Augustus.
there's Augustus, his daughter Veronica.
Uh-huh.
Who he
And
mistakenly
then
said was his wife originally.
Yeah, because I was reading the book wrong. So sue me. And
I
then
will.
The mom
there's
The mom came
there's
in,
the
though.
butler and the maid. There's no. I just
The maid
misspoke.
came in.
Should I roll
Yeah.
sanity? Because he definitely saw dead
No, the
people.
maid came in, my man.
Yeah, and then there's Jeremiah and
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Mhm.
Yeah, the butler and the maid who are married.
Biggles kind of turns around and just sees the Hezekiah walking by himself. He's like, "Wow, where'd she go?"
Who's Hezekiah?
And then the final two portraits are a portrait of Augustus with Veronica when she was a child, and then finally Veronica in her university graduation garb
Aw.
from Miskatonic University.
Well, Veronica, you're a graduate then.
Yes, well, it's a little embarrassing, but I always wanted to try and follow in my father's footsteps as a student of the esoteric, let's say.
Abigail will take her hand in both of hers and give her a squeeze and a smile and say, "It's very good of you to get to work hard and get yourself a degree in
I'll
this
tell
day
you,
and age."
you came to the right place. Miskatonic's full of all sorts of weird occult. I've seen a lot of things in my day, so.
Where are the horses?
I believe they're out in the
Augusta-
stables.
Augustus kind of comes up as y'all are talking about her schooling, and he says, "Oh, my daughter is just being humble. She's far better at this than I ever was. In fact, our party tonight is to celebrate her upcoming performance of something called the Abramelin Operation,
Oof.
which is an ancient ritual that I tried to perform, but unfortunately failed
I thought that was an opera.
She's
Do I know what that is?
I've actually had my Abramelin taken out in the war.
Bromelin was removed.
Tragic,
Let's
really.
see if there's a.
Had one too many
We can
cherries,
roll
I'm
We
afraid.
can roll a cult. Roll a cult.
Let's see. Let's roll.
Roll a cult.
I really should have a list of the skills.
There's a cult.
Pulled up on. Yeah, I guess make an occult roll for
Making
me.
an occult roll.
Or if there's a religion, make a religion.
Oh, I got a
roll if
19.
There's a religious skill.
I think there might be religion. Let me look. I might have.
I
one
know what
here.
it is.
I don't think Biggles is paying that much attention.
There's not a religion.
I know what it
Cult
is.
it is.
I solved it.
I didn't get it. I have a
did.
9 in a cult.
Okay.
Why do I only have a 9?
I have 75 in a cult.
Nice.
How?
I've seen some stuff, my man.
Occult people really like the cemetery.
You know how many
true.
times I have to stop people from digging up bodies for weird rituals?
Dadgum resurrectionists.
I feel like now, though,
Yes.
you're not even upset. Like, when you see people robbing graves, you're just like,
Yeah, no,
Get over there.
I see you.
Stop it.
I've had about enough of your
I just throw a
shenanigans.
shovel at him.
and they look at you, and they're not even scared anymore. They just look over you, smile, and shrug. They go,
Swiping and
it's a
swiping.
Tuesday.
It's old man Jenkins.
Cheese it, it's Billiam.
We better scram. Well, we'll try
gotta
again next
skedaddle,
Tuesday.
see? So, not to give too much away,
Yeah,
but
just give me.
you
I don't know the specifics of it, but just tell me like if I've heard
No.
of it.
You
Like
you recognize the name of Brommelin from a late medieval grimoire called the Book of Abramelin,
oh yeah,
which originates from Germany and supposedly dealt with the summoning of a guardian angel.
ooh, spooky.
Are you going to share this information as we are discussing?
No,
Cool.
He would probably assume that the librarian already knows.
yeah, he's
it,
like if
even
I
though
know
she
it, she's got
doesn't.
to know it, and I know for sure he doesn't know it.
Well, what does this Abramelin operation entail? If I may
Well,
ask.
And why
Is
should we
a-
care? He kind of just looks over. And he's
Is
being
a Brommelin
fully
a horse?
genuine. I once had a horse.
Please tell me it's a horse.
He really wanted to be in the cavalry. Cavalry? I always get those two mixed
Yeah,
up.
cavalry.
Cavalry.
I once had a horse named Abramelin. We called the Abramelin when he broke his leg. We had what was called the Abramelin operation. It only required a shotgun.
It involved.
unfortunately.
It only required one bullet. So so that I don't have to spin the whole thing
Yeah,
in character.
yeah.
She sort of outlines the purpose of the ritual is to summon the performer's guardian angel and sort of have them help to summon and bind demons to keep them to remove their malign influence from the person's life. Basically,
All right.
it's sort of to remove evil influences from one's life.
So your
Well-
standard guardian demon.
And
Dynamic.
when she says that, Biggles kind of goes over and tenderly looks at her in a reassuring manner and just says, "My dear, we already have angels flying all around us. We can see them as long as we close our eyes and look. They're called the Royal Air Force. And they're protecting us right now. You don't need to summon them. In fact, I'm right here."
Well, that's very forward of you, Mr. Biggles. But
Also, this
he
is
closes
New
his.
Hampshire.
He just has his dumb.
You're confusing New Hampshire with Old Hampshire.
Yeah, this is not Old Hampshire.
you are, in fact, across the pond, Mr. Biggles. Miss Waynard,
He closes his eyes as he's saying this, and she just sort of walks away from him while his eyes are
He's
closed.
just still standing there with a dumb grin.
just hear a horse neighing in the background.
To
God save the
further
Queen starts playing.
describe the lounge, In the northwest corner of the room is a piano. There's some sheet music on a stand nearby. There's a chandelier hanging from the ceiling, below which is a coffee table. And on the coffee table sits an ashtray with a recently lit cigar.
Ooh.
How's the
there's a
wiring about
fire.
this chandelier, if I may ask?
This one looks normal.
Are there extra cigars on the table?
There is a box of them, yes.
Oh, may I?
Oh, help yourself.
Ah, thank you. And he kind of lights one and kind of puffs it. Oh, man, that's real tobacco.
There's 4 long sofas, sort of, ornate, the kind that you would see in a mansion, arranged in a square around the coffee table. There's a fire in the fireplace, and on the mantelpiece is an ornate French Empire-style mantel clock made of gold and flanked by 2 candlesticks.
Quality stuff you got here.
The clock faces to the left, with a figure of Minerva to the right, the Roman goddess of wisdom, medicine, strategy, trade, and various arts and crafts.
Crafts.
I want each of you to make me another spot hidden check.
Oh boy, I should have put more stats in this. 91.
Ooh, I succeed.
I did it.
You both notice that as you've been standing here and, chit-chatting, sitting on the sofas and stuff, Biggles puffing on your own cigar, that the cigar in the ashtray, the ash on it has not gotten any longer, despite the fact that it does appear to be lit. There's an ember glowing on the end of it, but it doesn't seem to be burning down at all.
Is mine burning down?
And yes, yours is burning down.
Down at the
I say, old boy. Kind of puffs it. What's with that cigar? I mean, it doesn't seem to be going down at all, if you know what I mean. What?
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 I guess just sort of picks it up and starts puffing on it. He's like, oh, I do apologize. I had lit that earlier and forgotten about it.
Oh, no.
He sort of
but I mean,
brushes
it
the,
wasn't going
the
down.
interaction off.
That's not the situation. That's not the problem.
And each of you make me an intelligence check now.
Ooh, I succeed.
I
pretty well.
succeed.
I have a 70 and I rolled a 17, so I succeed pretty well.
Pretty great.
Dylan?
I didn't think I noticed it, so I didn't know if I had to.
No, this is a different.
This is
thing.
separate. Okay.
Yeah,
In that
a different.
case, I got it because I rolled a
something.
44 and I have a 75.
Okay, so you all have noticed, obviously, that there's a fire in the fireplace. But what you recall not noticing, or rather noticing the absence of, when you approached the house, is that there was no smoke coming out of any of the chimneys.
No boy.
I would like
They're smoking
to,
up something else.
Sit beside young Miss Veronica and say, Miss Waynard, you said you're seeking to bind a demon. Are you or your family particularly plagued by ill luck?
Well, I wouldn't say ill luck, although you could say the death of my mother might have been a stroke of ill luck, but
She sounds like real
really
salty
it's
when she
just
says
a-
that.
it's really just a way to ensure, a peaceful and prosperous existence.
Make our credit rating go sky high,
I see.
Let's see. And then as you guys sort of finish up that line of conversation, Jeremiah pops his head in and says, if one of you would like to follow me, I can show you to the telephone.
Oh, perfect. I'll talk to my people. Don't worry. I got you.
All right. So you're following Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where I get killed.
Yay! Split
Have
the
fun.
party.
Ironically, it does not say what room the phone is located
Whichever
in.
room you
Tragically, it
want.
was the stable, and he was trampled
Oh, no.
by horses.
The real villain.
But he takes you to the phone. We'll say it's in like the kitchen, like the chef's kitchen. It's, it's your typical 20s phone with the
Oh yeah,
dial
you gotta,
and
pick it up off
the
the thing.
handpiece and everything.
Yeah.
So you ring out to the switchboard operator.
Yes, I call the campus.
And it puts you through to the custodial headquarters.
I don't answer the phone because I'm here.
Darn.
This foolproof plan was not foolproof.
Ruined.
Right. It's like trying to call yourself but realizing you lost your cell phone.
Or trying to find your phone and then you call it.
So you hang up and ring the switchboard operator again and have him dial you to the nearest service station, petrol station. In this case, it's a general store about, a dozen or so miles away, like you said. The owner of the store hears you out about your predicament, and he's not sure how quickly he's going to be able to send somebody down there, but he will try to get somebody down there
to
with
expedite the process.
You may.
Aw, yeah, that grave digger charm.
I really do though. I rolled a 12, and I have
Nice.
75.
What?
I put all of my stats into 4 things.
Nice.
All right, yeah. So the general store owner sort of, I guess, recognizes your voice when you start.
Yeah, it's me, Jimmy.
Sort of putting on the charm. It's like working class connection.
Yeah.
Well, you don't remember
He's
this
like,
voice?
I'll send the kid down there with the tank of gas as soon as I can. All right.
I appreciate it, Jimmy.
While he's doing
problem,
that, I'm
no
sorry.
problem, Bill. And they just sort of hang up.
While he's doing that, can I please try to fast talk Mr. Augustus into kind of spilling his secret about well, actually, there's a skill called fast talk, and so it actually works pretty well. But I think Biggles is more thinking, man, we could make money off of a non-burning cigar. More than there's something occult going on. It's like, I want to know how to do this. Biggles cigars. I can see it now.
Biggles cigars.
He rolls, really good. He rolled a 14, and he has a 60 in that skill, so he succeeds fairly well in fast talking.
So you try to get some info out of him, and he just sort of gives you like a hearty laugh. He's like, stick around, old chum, and I'll show you the trick that I used to make that happen.
All right. Bally good.
Around this time, Rosemary re-enters carrying a silver tray under one arm, and she offers refreshments. If any of you would like, you can order a refreshment from the kitchen while she's there.
I would love a gin and tonic.
I say I'd love a cherry right now. Not a literal berry like a cherry.
One cherry.
Like cherry as in the alcoholic drink.
I think he does mean a glass of sherry with a sh.
No, cherry.
Now.
Get him a glass of sherry.
With extra grenadine.
Anything for you,
Why is
miss?
there grenadine in the
Well,
sherry?
I was actually wondering if I could accompany you. That would be more than enough for me.
Of course, you're more than welcome to.
Make sure she doesn't poison our drinks.
But as we go, I'd like to ask her about the family. Very tragic. The passing of young Mistress Waynard. Has the family had a string of bad luck?
I don't know. Again, I don't know if I would say bad luck.
After all, they do have
Let's
2
see.
manservants.
Let me see where.
Just because you're rich,
she
you may not
sort
think
of
you're
explains-
rich enough.
She sort of explains that Evangeline died giving birth to Veronica.
Oh, no. And on her
And
18th
that,
birthday, they will summon her again.
Hers is the body interred in the mausoleum that you saw in the back of the
I
grounds.
probably buried her there.
Tell me
You know, you very well might have.
what it's like working for the Waynard family.
Well, they're very kind. They've been more than lovely to myself and Jeremiah since we've worked for them. It's been, probably 20 years now.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
As you walk along, you see her kind of tidying things as she goes, sort of fretting over this or that, making sure things are straight, making sure the portraits are just so,
Speaking
and
of-
doilies are dusted, and
I want to look at that cloud painting. Has it changed again?
it has. It has in
back
fact
to
changed.
Nimbus.
The
Oh no!
as the sky has darkened outside, the sky in the landscapes has also darkened to match.
Rosemary, Miss Rosemary. Can you tell me anything about this painting here?
And she sort of brushes the question off as if she doesn't hear you. She just continues kind of talking about the house itself and Veronica and Augustus, and sort of talking about how lovely Evangeline was when she was alive and things like that, as she sort of
She
heads
sounds
towards the
like
kitchen.
quite the angel.
Oh, she was. And you guys reached the kitchen right around the time Billiam is finishing up his phone call.
Good news. They'll be sending some petrol shortly.
That is very good news. Thank you, Billiam.
Cutting back to Biggles real quick. Biggles,
And so
make
I
me
grabbed the wing and I stuck it back on the plane and I flew it back to England.
Make us one more spot hidden check there, Biggles.
Yeah. Disadvantage.
He unfortunately just fails his spot hidden check.
Okay. Let's see where to next. Okay, so back in the kitchen, Mrs. Linwood, Rosemary, offers Billiam a drink as well. Right, you said gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic, yeah.
We'll say that you say that now instead of
When you weren't in the
earlier
room.
when you guys weren't in the same room.
I just yelled it across the house.
Right. She sort of scrounges around in the kitchen cabinets. Takes her a moment to find the bottles that she's looking for. She finds the tonic pretty quickly, but it takes her a moment to find the sherry and the gin. She sort of pours a glass of sherry and makes a basic gin and tonic with a wedge of lime and places them on the tray.
Delectable.
It's
Thank you,
like-
madam.
And then leads the two of you back to the lounge.
I sip it really daintily as we go through.
Little pinky out.
Okay. Let's see.
Half a pinky.
Ooh.
Half a pinky.
His knuckles can't bend any further.
They're gnarled, stuck like this. Too much digging.
Makes him very good at doing Thriller, the Thriller, you know? His fingers
taught
are
Michael
stuck like
Jackson
that.
So you're tasting the lime and the tonic, but you don't really get much in the way of gin.
That's all right. I got to drive anyway.
Despite having seen her, well, you know, everybody drove drunk back then. But you're not really getting much gin flavor, despite you watching her pour
You would think
from a bottle
rich
labeled
house
gin.
like this would have some better gin.
And she sort of picks up on that. It's like, Augustus never was much one for drinking alcohol. He always abstained for as long as I've known him.
Well, when you're able to, get through life all cushy like, you don't really have much need for the stuff.
Oof.
I suppose so. And they return to the, what do you call it? The lounge, where she hands off the glass of sherry to Mr. Biggles,
Ah, cherry.
who also
You gotta
does
work on
not
your consonants.
really get much in the way of flavor from his alcoholic beverage.
I say this is drier than a desert in a drought. And not in a good way.
My apologies, sir. It's the only thing that I could find in the kitchen.
Ah,
Let me
Give
just
me
get you a bottle
Splenda.
of grenadine.
Splenda.
This is a glass of grenadine.
That's just thick and syrupy.
he likes his sherry
As
with
you
cherry.
It's just not
as you
cool.
sip on your drinks, Augustus finishes his cigars. Well, I must be attending to preparations for the party. Feel free to make yourselves at home. Explore around the grounds if you'd like. Take in the first floor, but please do mind our privacy and keep out of the second floor, if you will. You are welcome to use the bathroom, but our bedrooms and other facilities are off
I
limits.
head straight to
Of
the
course.
mausoleum.
Okay,
I'm going with them.
Part of me
heading
thinks,
straight to the mausoleum.
part of me thinks because every good Cthulhu adventure ends with burning down the building. Like, what if we just lit it right now? Like,
Call in the Air Force. We're gonna call it an
Yeah, I
airstrike.
wonder what would happen if you did that.
Airstrike.
can I make a smoking check to see how good I am at disposing of my cigar?
Oh no.
No, I won't do that. That'd be really funny.
All right. So who all was heading to the mausoleum?
I'll
Was
go with them.
And
We
we
might
get
as well
The
all
whole
go.
gang.
Yeah.
all three of you? Okay. All right. So, having been sort of dismissed by your host, you're
Be
free
gone.
to explore the grounds.
As they walk over there, Biggles is just like, I don't understand why we're going over here. There's absolutely no horses.
Well, let me tell you what. If they're doing some sort of ritual, especially involving this daughter and the dead mother,
Yeah.
we're going to see if that mother's still there.
And maybe we
As
can
you
check
say
the
that-
stables afterwards.
Out of the corner, as you're all sort of facing each other, talking, as you sort of make your way down the yard, out of the corner of your eye, you see a figure moving
What kind of figure?
in the door of the mausoleum.
Is this your regular mausoleum figure, or is this a spooky mausoleum figure?
Oh, it's spooky.
Oh no.
Sort of raggedy, disheveled. You can't get it. You're still pretty far away, so you don't get a lot of detail. But it does not appear to be anybody that you've seen.
See, that there is what
So
you
far.
call a ghast.
Can I roll a bravery check to see if he bothers to even want to go in there now?
Sure.
Would that be power?
Yeah, do
Yeah,
power.
more mental fortitude.
Yeah.
Oh, he rolled a 69. He did not.
Nice.
Oh no, he rolled a 99. Oh.
Okay.
He's like, nope,
Very
That's
much.
convenient.
I'm
Nope.
going to see the horses.
Where's the stable?
There is a stable. It's
Just pivots
Well-
immediately to the stable and starts walking that way
Yeah,
without a
Abigail's
word.
gonna grab him by
peels
the
off
back
and
of the
goes other
collar.
way.
And
Not
pull him
even a
back.
word. He
Actu-
just pivots and starts
You
walking.
just grab my
Actually,
sword, like,
from
start
a-
choking me like, oh.
From a meta perspective, if I may say, it might be more fun to let him go to the to the stable.
You just grab the scarf and it just comes right off.
Yeah.
My neck's colder.
Ta!
Abigail's
How strange.
gonna like wave her hand and say, "I'm sure there's some sort of logical explanation. There must be someone."
Yeah, it's a logical explanation. It's a ghast. You see these all the time when you work graveyards.
Excuse me, pardon me. I don't know why I
Yes,
keep
what?
going like a totally different accent. She'll
This is my
holler.
most consistent character voice I've ever had.
You're doing real good. Let this be a
I always
lesson
change
to our
accents.
listeners. You don't have to
I
do
don't
an
know,
accent. And if you do,
I-
it's okay if you mess up.
Although Dylan, I did like TikTok. He was real fun.
Tuck tuck.
TikTok?
Tug tug.
Still got it.
Tip top.
Tic tac. So we'll start with the mausoleum
Yes,
because
please.
that's where two of the three of you are headed. Undeterred by the strange figure that you just saw, You make your way to the mausoleum.
Yeah, just a regular everyday
It's sort
guest.
of, it is constructed from marble in sort of a neoclassical style.
Yeah, how nice is this
with,
mausoleum?
It's very nice.
Okay.
Like I said, marble. There's neoclassical pillars either side of some
Ionian?
Doric.
Okay.
And gotcha. And you thought you could stump me, but I know another type of column.
I figured you would.
They're flanking a set of double doors similar to the ones on the front of the house. Heavy mahogany, lots of ornate sort of engravings. They're not locked, so you are able to go inside, but you don't see anybody inside.
Oh, no figure. That's all right. They dematerialize every now and then. Don't worry about it.
Each of you go ahead and make a sanity check for me.
Yeah.
That's a fail.
I rolled a 35. We're good.
88.
All right.
That seems
Once
very
again-
apropos.
Right. Once again, Billiam is unfazed.
It takes a lot to face this boy.
And Abigail's presumed knowledge of the world is once again butting up against the unexplainable, and you lose 1 sanity point.
You've never seen a ghast? This is your first ghast.
I am aghast.
It's kind of like the dynamic here where like Abigail has all the book learning, so she believes she knows the way that the world works. Billiam sort of as the one with more practical experience with the unexplainable is much more assured in the fact that it doesn't work that way at all.
Everything's always weird.
So you enter into the mausoleum and it sort of steps down. So it's sort of indented into the ground. There's a handful of steps that lead from the entrance to where a central stone sarcophagus contains
they really went
a
all out for
coffin.
this one. I didn't do this one.
There are
special.
there's
Well, you don't need a gravedigger for a mausoleum.
life-sized effigy of
Oh my.
Evangeline carved into the top of the marble coffin.
That's real nice.
And then on either side, there are a handful of openings, presumably intended for future generations of the Wayland family.
Oh, that's nice. Get them all in one spot.
Looks like
I
new money.
appreciate
And
that.
And then the rear wall has a bunch of alcoves for like flowers and gifts, that sort of thing.
Aw.
Does this top of the sarcophagus move?
It is very heavy.
Okay.
What,
I'm gonna go back
what-
to the car, and I'm gonna grab my crowbar.
Now, don't leave me here alone. And she's going to hurry. I mean, say, if there's a stranger who is a human person running about in ragged clothes, then they may not be in their right mind, and we should stick together.
Sure.
Yes.
No problem.
All right. And then we'll jump over to Biggles, who is making his way to the stable.
Horses,
has-
horses, they gallop around. Horses, they tramp on the ground.
That's really
Much to his disappointment and chagrin, finds that the stable has been converted into a garage.
Oh.
Well, cars are like
Where's-
horses with wheels.
Wherein sits a lovely 1920s,
It's Chitty Bang Bang himself.
no, it's a Rolls Royce. Is a before they were called the Rolls Royce Phantom, but is the car which would later be renamed the Rolls Royce
This
Phantom.
one's just called the
There-
Rolls Good Ghost.
Cue that like stereotypical sensual jazz that comes on whenever a love interest enters.
Do, do, do,
Like-
do.
Hello. You're looking nice tonight. You are a fantastic automobile.
How many horsepowers in that engine?
And
You know, they
even
say when you
Biggles-
can't have a horse, you can settle for horsepower.
Even Biggles recalls that the reason you guys are stuck here in the first place is because your car does not work.
He looks at it and
go
just
And
kind
they
of like
offer us gas.
with his glove on, he kind of just like brings it down the side of the car. And
That's the sound an engine makes.
You do notice a gasoline can off in the corner.
Why didn't they give us gas?
That's random.
didn't
They
ask.
need
I'll just ignore that.
sacrifices for the
Yeah,
ritual.
you guys just said you needed the phone.
That's true. We didn't tell them why.
Oh,
We just said
let's
our car
get
broke
some
down.
gas. And he kind of grabs it and turns on his heel, starts walking towards the car.
I imagine his
All
walk
right.
cycle is very much just like arms up, walking like each leg as he goes.
It's very confident and not subtle at all.
Yeah.
So
Gasoline,
you do,
gasoline, some gas for you and gas for me, gasoline.
Just drinking
So
from it. Oops.
Oh god.
Whoops, shouldn't do that.
Now I'm
That's,
seeing
not,
but
that's
the-
not meant for human consumption.
You because this is Biggles and he's the comedy relief character. I just feel like he grabs the can expecting it to be full. When it turns out to be empty and much lighter than he thinks it is, he just like bashes himself in the face with it by accident.
Solid bone.
Not a drop.
Oh, I'm glad no one was there to see that. Except for you, my dear. And he kind of turned back to the car. Now, where were we?
Bow, 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 bow.
You want to look for keys or anything while you're there?
Do old-fashioned cars have keys? I feel like you just turned
Yes.
them on.
Yes, they did. They
You
did
had to
still.
hotwire
had
them,
keys.
all of them.
They hotwire every time.
Ooh, actually, I
So
can't.
what's this thing run on coal?
Shovel it in, burn it.
I actually am good with mechanical stuff, so can I see if I can start it?
Sure.
They were much easier to hotwire back then.
Ooh, I succeed. It was I have a 45 and I got a 19.
Nice.
Is that
Okay.
below your half?
I think
Yes.
so.
So the car does not start,
Ah,
but here's
also has no
here's what
gas.
you
playing
here's
hard
what
to
you
get.
learn. Well, here's what you glean from your mechanical knowledge. It's a little dusty. It looks like it has not been used in a while. Doesn't seem like the folks that live here have much of a reason to go places. I mean, things are pretty far away, and a lot of houses like this sort of have their groceries and things like that delivered. But you do know that there are a lot of reasons why a car wouldn't start that have nothing to do with how much gasoline is in it. So you think that you might be able to check below the car and see if you can get some gasoline out of the car to put into your car.
Ooh, can I make a check for that?
Yeah, go ahead
Make
and
a
make us
siphon
a
gas
mechanics
check.
Can I do it with advantage because I succeeded on my last one?
Sure.
Oh. All right, my first number was a 45, which meets my mechanical thing. Is it meets it beats it?
Okay. Yep.
That's with so
Yeah. Equal or under. You can still
I
roll
got-
with advantage though.
I got the 4 again. So it I meet it, which
Okay.
means I beat it.
Okay, so you find, scrabbling around, you find some tools, including a nice hefty wrench or a tire iron sort of thing. We'll say it's a wrench. And you get down under the car to find the gas valve. But despite your best efforts, can't seem to find one.
No, glug glug.
But when you look under the car, you see a pair of dirty, bare feet standing on the other side of the car. from
Oh,
underneath.
hello! Finally, it's about time.
And when you jump up to talk to whoever is standing there, there is nobody there.
Ooh.
Make me a sanity check.
Spooky.
He fails significantly.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah. Even as oblivious as Biggles is, this is a little bit too much to ignore.
Dirty feet
Beside
and no
of-
dirty feet.
Beside of these dirty feet, broken, toenails.
What
Um,
what
just-
made you go crazy? Feet in clouds. Feet in clouds.
Feet in
They'll
clouds.
get you every time.
Back then, a little bit of ankle was enough to
Cloud
drive
feet.
anybody crazy. At the sight of these ghoulish feet, and then no sign of the body they were attached to, you lose 1 sanity.
Ah, I feel less sad.
And with the mystery of this house deepening by the minute, we will leave off for the next part. Hey everybody, Cam here. Thanks for listening to Minions and Misfits. If you like what you heard, don't forget to check out our socials. The links are down in the description. And please, leave us a review on whatever app you use to listen to your podcast. It'll help us reach more people who can enjoy the episode that you just listened to. See you next time.